funny car war. Red and white are the championship colors in pro stock, and Bilkins flies at the finals. From Ontario, California, and the Winston Championship Banquet, these stories and more on this edition of NHRA Today. Quite appropriately, the sun was setting as the last pair of competitors rolled onto the racetrack at this past Sunday's Winston Finals. For just a few moments later, the most competitive season in drag racing history would be over. Since last February's Winter Nationals held at this same racetrack, thousands of drivers have worked towards one goal, a Winston Championship in one of NHRA's 4 professional and 7 sportsman categories. The pursuit of that dream took them across the United States and Canada. And at the end of that chase lay the brightly shining gold-colored statue that honors the best. Hello, everyone. I'm Steve Evans, and welcome to this black tie edition of NHRA Today. And why not strut our stuff a little bit tonight? NHRA Championship drag racers here at the Winston Awards Banquet are on the receiving end of over $1 million in season-end awards. And in the next half hour, you'll be our special guest for the festivities. And we'll show you how the season concluded on the track at the Winston Finals. By far, the most attention at Pomona last weekend centered on the battle for supremacy in Top Fuel Eliminator, as Joe Amato and Gary Ormsby staged another of their patented showdowns. Coming into the Winston Finals, Amato held a slim 254-point lead. And as Dave McClellan reports, Gary and Joe came out swinging.
Gary Ormsby landed the first blow in qualifying by setting the quickest time of 5:01. But Joe Amato countered in Saturday's Budweiser Top Fuel Classic final, a race that saw the Winston points leader put down the first 4-second run of the weekend as he defeated Ormsby and claimed the $50,000 prize. Many wondered if that same matchup would be repeated in Sunday's finals, as Amato and Ormsby were on opposite sides of the ladder. Both contenders moved easily past their first-round opponents, but in round 2, Joe faced off against Eddie Hill, who's once again showing race-winning potential. At the green, Eddie reacted first, but moments later his tires billowed smoke and Amato was in the final 4. As for Gary Ormsby, his second-round opponent was none other than an on-form Don the Snake Prudhomme, who had defeated Shirley Muldowney in round 1. Gary knew that in order to keep his title hopes alive, he had to keep pace with Amato. And although he crossed the finish line first, his disappointing 5:12 ET cost him lane choice for his Final 4 matchup with Kenny Bernstein. G.O. knew he could not take Bernstein lightly, as only 2 weeks earlier in Dallas, Kenny had pulled a whole-shot upset win over Amato. At the green, the red car reacted first. Was this another upset in the making? Not quite, as Ormsby pulled ahead and into the finals, where he would meet the winner of the race between Joe Amato and Gene Snow. Joe knew that to take the lane choice required a quicker time than Ormsby's 5:02, and although he easily beat the Snowman, he fell just shy of that goal.
So it was as simple as this. It came down to the final round of the year for the Winston Championship in Top Fuel Eliminator. Both Ormsby and Amato had a shot at the title. Ormsby held the lane choice by a crucial 100th of a second.
Gary exercised that option just as the cars were ready to fire up, adding even more tension to the situation as both the drivers and their crew chiefs knew that an entire season's work came down to this one moment. The cars staged, the lights blinked, and a red light blazed on Ormsby's side of the tree. Joe Amato was the 1990 Winston Top Fuel champion.
You know, I was just wanted to be steady up there. I didn't want a deep stage or anything, because even if I lost with a hole shot, I could have won by getting low ET. I knew Timmy was going to give me that Tim Richards horsepower, buddy. And my team, they set the clutch in the car and 493, and the rest is history.
Also part of history, Joe Amato joins Don Garlitz and Shirley Muldowney as the only 3-time Winston Top Fuel champions. Here are the final standings in Top Fuel.
With Joe Amato and Gary Ormsby, first of all, Joe, congratulations. First of all, Gary, condolences. But Joe, obviously both cars were loaded, and you knew all you needed was low ET of the event, whether Gary got there first or not.
Yeah, but Steve, we could have smoked the tires too. I mean, there's no guarantee in racing, as we all know. you know, take your crew chief and your driver and put the best combination together and try and go for it. And that's what we had to do.
Gary, at the very last minute, you guys decided to change lanes. Was that a factor?
Well, I don't think so. We had it loaded up pretty good, too, also, and it just overpowered the track, and plus I was early on the start. This didn't work out for us there in the final. You know, we were under a lot of pressure, both Joe and myself, all day, and we made a pretty bold move there, and it didn't work out.
Well, I'd like to say to both of you guys, for every drag racing fan in America, thanks for the greatest Top Fuel season ever. Thank you, guys.
NHRA Today is being brought to you by Firestone, makers of fire.
One of the guaranteed successes of the Winston Awards banquet, in fact, one of the most anticipated events of the entire evening, was John Force's funny car acceptance speech. Now, as we told you 1 week ago, John clinched the championship at the Winston finals by merely making a qualifying run. Well, tonight, in typical Force fashion, he was an unqualified success with his speech.
Two things I hate in my life. Two things I hate.
What's that?
Thank you. Is I hate tuxedos and clean fire suits. God's truth, Coyle said with the heat conditions, we need a sandy racetrack and some hot air. We're going to Kuwait to match race. Austin Coyle said I won 2 world championships in spite of Frank Hawley. And Hawley said, would you do this favor and say that you won a world championship in spite of Austin Coyle? But Austin Coyle, you're the best, and I love you, and I hope you stay forever. And I just want you to know, don't worry about McCullough. We made enough money. I bought Miner out. We're in the potato business. Thank you very much. I love all of you. I hope I didn't bore you. I'm going home.
Simply unbelievable. Simply John Force. You know, on the track, John lets his right foot do the talking for him. Here is Dave McClellan with the flopper festivities from the Winston Finals.
The first round of Funny Car Eliminator at the Winston Finals featured some of the rarest sights of the season. Take, for instance, the father and son struggle between Jim and Mike Dunn. Normally, Father Jim serves as crew chief on Mike's Trans Am, but at Pomona, Dad was pulling double duty, wrenching and wheeling his just-completed Buick Reatta, and as luck would have it, the eliminations ladder paired them together. In one of the closest races of the day, Mike took the early lead, but in the traps, Big Jim chased him down and took the win. Another rare occurrence also happened in the first round as John Force's car rolled through the staging beams and out of competition. Exit the 1990 Winston champion.
That red light loss by John Force moved Tim Gross to the second round where he faced Jim Dunn. And in an unusual race, Gross took a victory that moved him to the Final Four where his opponent was Ed McCullough.
The ace was racing for pride, wanting to finish off the 1990 season with a win, and as the lights flickered green, he blasted down track and into the championship round. His opponent was the winner of the Final Four pairing between Bruce Larson and Chuck Etchells, and although Etchells' blue Pontiac in the near lane took the initial advantage, 1989 Winston champion Larson chased him down with a 533 ET that secured lane choice in the final. Both Larson and McCullough had to contend with the fading daylight in the last race of the year, and as the lights went green, the ace got his best reaction time of the event. Bruce hazed the tires, and Ed McCullough was the winner of the Winston Finals.
That big trophy is somewhat of a vindication for a season that didn't end quite like you wanted it.
Well, it ended up the World Championship second, but we won the race today. It's awful hard for us to win at home, but we pulled it off today, and I'm proud as punch for my entire team, and to be able to go out winning, well, that's what we needed to do.
Ed McCullough's win made the final Winston standings in Funny Car the closest of the 3 professional categories, with John Force winning by just over 400 points.
As always, John Force surrounded by beautiful women. Lisa Coyle, his wife, all their daughters. And John, what a celebration tonight after, 18 years of trying?
It's quite a deal. It was nice to walk in and see the NHRA Winston banners on the wall and to be with my people here in L.A. and get to celebrate something that they all worked for.
That first round, you wanted more, obviously.
Without a doubt. That was painful. That hurt to let all the fans down right there in my hometown. And after already being, crowned the champion, they wanted to see a champion perform, and they're just going to have to buy a ticket to the Winter Nationals to see him.
Let me tell you what, no one will ever feel let down by you, John Force, believe me.
Well, thank you, and I'll try not to do that.
Castrol presents the GTX Pipeline, the latest news from the world of drag racing.
There were two interesting new items unveiled on and off the track last weekend at Pomona. The first is called Winston Vision. Actually, that giant television screen technically is known as Jumbotron. It's a product of Sony and has twice the resolution and twice the brightness of other systems you may have seen in stadiums around the country. Now, not only are all the Diamond P cameras fed into the big board, but also they have their own little control room, and they can queue up instant replays anytime they want. So far, everybody loves it, but it's on a trial run here. If all works well, NHRA and Winston hope to have Winston Vision at selected national events in 1991. For the past few months, we've been talking about NHRA's new stock eliminator classes for pickup trucks. Well, the first pair of serious trucks have shown up here at the Winston Finals, a pair of black GMC beauties, and Danny Gracia, NHRA's technical services manager, is with us. And Danny, it's stock eliminator, but there's some things they can do to them.
Sure, they can. On these particular trucks, they can be lowered, they can be used ground effects and whatnot. Obviously, what you see here is basically a stock 350s GMC pickup. Obviously, eventually they'll be able to modify the motor a little bit and whatnot, you know, and they have to run under the same rules as a stock eliminator.
And there's 6 classes total.
There are 6 classes total from V8 to 4 cylinders.
Okay, now these two trucks paired up side by side, exhibition purposes, and ran almost 90 miles an hour with street tires with slicks. They'll top that easily. Should be a lot of fun. We are back at the Winston Awards Banquet in Ontario, California with NHRA President Dallas Gardner. There's never, ever been a season like 1990.
No, not even close. You know, right from the start, we started with the clouds hanging over us, and we had a lot of bad weather, but we, I guess as drag racers do, you persevere, and the season got better and bigger and bigger to where the last several races of the year, I mean, attendance records were set. It's been a wonderful year.
I assume we'll do this again next year?
Well, I guess we should. You know, it's probably worth doing. You bet.
I'll be there if you'll be there.
I promise.
And I'll tell you who we need right now is Dave McClellan for the Pro Stock Report from the Winston Finals.
Pro Stock at the Winston Finals could really be called the shootout at the Pomona Corral, as one by one the contenders for the 1990 championship fell by the wayside. First to depart from the points chase was Warren Johnson, who met up with Don Beverly in round 1. And in one of the closest races of the year, Beverly eked out the victory in the far lane by a mere 0.02 of a second. Larry Morgan was next to fall from championship contention, as in the second round, he fell victim to the Chevy Beretta of Dallas winner Tony Christian. The second round also featured a battle between the drivers who came to Pomona ranked first and second, Darrell Alderman and Jerry Ekman. Ekman knew he had to win to keep his title hopes alive, but Alderman's Dodge got the better start and held that lead throughout the quarter mile.
Darrell Alderman's victory over Jerry Ekman not only clinched the Winston Championship, but it gave him an opportunity to gain some revenge in the Final Four against Tony Christian. Christian defeated Alderman just 2 weeks ago in Dallas.
Once again, the yellow Chevrolet had the Dodge's number as Christian left first and kept the Winston champion-elect at bay. Meeting Christian in the final round would be Bob Glidden, who, despite wins over Joe Labone, Bruce Allen, and Don Beverly, was mathematically eliminated from contention for the Winston title after the first round. A victory in the final round would still clinch second place in the point standings, and Glidden and his red and white Ford went at it with a vengeance, taking a whole shot lead that stood up to Christian's top in charge and quicker ET.
First time in 5 years that Bob Glidden has not been a Winston champion.
Well, you can't be world champion every year. We ended up number 2. We thought coming in here we could end up number 5. So here again, we're overjoyed about that.
In the final point standings, Bob Glidden's climb into second place left him just under 500 points shy of proud father and Winston champion Darrell Alderman.
All you ladies out there who think Darrell Alderman, the new Pro Stock champ, is handsome, take a look at his son, Chase, 14. Now, there's a killer kid. Congratulations, guy.
Yes, I'm very proud of Chase, and very proud of the accomplishment that Wayne County and myself have made in Pro Stock this year.
You were more nervous than Don Knotts before that race with Jerry Ekman.
I tell you, I believe I've developed 6 ulcers since the race at Dallas. You know, I didn't know if I was going to be able to handle it or not.
Really?
Yeah, I just got really uptight. I mean, I got to think about this world championship. It's something that I've dreamed of happening to me. and it's a dream come true.
You know, every drag racing fan on this continent by now knows about Darrell winning the Winston Pro Stock title. But over in Saudi Arabia, maybe not. Those fans over there in Operation Desert Shield, well, they're about to find out, though. We recently received a letter from Captain Douglas Crucial of the 82nd Airborne asking for help in getting drag racing news to the troops in Saudi Arabia. Now, if you'd like to help, just take your National Dragster and other magazines, put them in a large envelope, attach the proper postage, and send it to the following address. It'll make you feel good to know we're helping keep up the morale of troops overseas. Winning a gold Oscar and walking off the stage at the Winston Finals Banquet is every bit as important to the Sportsman champions as it is to any of the pros. And even though all 7 Sportsman categories were wrapped up before the Winston Finals, that doesn't mean the action wasn't terrific this past weekend. Here's Bob Fry with his Sportsman report.
The NHRA Winston World Championship Tour covers the entire United States from coast to coast. For a guy like me from back on the East Coast, it's great to come out to California for the Winston Finals. Lots of sunshine and lots of unique automobiles, like this 1938 Austin Bantam Roadster and Super Comp of Rich Borba. And as slick as this car is, you should have seen some of the other cars in competition out at the Winston Finals. As interesting and colorful as those cars were, very few cars in the pit area at the Winston Finals can compare to this car. This is the AA alternative Dan Nicholson, who won the Winston Finals right here a year ago. It was cars like this and a couple of roadsters that made Comp Eliminator at the Winston Finals such a very exciting Eliminator bracket. 2 of those radical roadsters met in the semifinals when 1981 Winston World Champion Vinnie Barone's yellow car paired off with the red version driven by John Geyer. Geyer took the victory, and then in the finals, the Californian defeated the unique V6-powered Econo dragster of John Johnston. An impressive victory over a top-notch field.
Vinnie Barone came out from the east. We had another roadster just got built 5 races ago, Jeff Krug. They all tried to take me down, but I told them before the race I'm going to be out to get this one, so it worked out.
In Superstock, Ron Filkins came out on top in the finals when Larry Pritchett's Oldsmobile fouled out. The win gives Filkins a unique Pomona double.
Our first success was the 83 Winter Nationals. We were able to win that. And the pickings were kind of slim after that until the last couple of years.
The Filkins racing team is a family effort, with wife Linda serving as crew chief over their 3 sons.
She pays the bills, she cleans the car, she's helped work on the engine, she's helped change transmissions, anything.
An experienced Superstock superstar like Ron Filkins knows that hard work and a team effort is no guarantee for victory.
It's very difficult to win in Superstock. Anyone whose car will perform up to its index is capable of beating you at any time.
Last weekend at the Winston Finals, no one could handle Ron Filkins. Here are other winners from Pomona. And here are the 1990 Winston Sportsman World Champions. For NHRA Today, I'm Bob Fry.
We're back with an old friend, Wayne Robertson, Senior Vice President of Sports Marketing Enterprises, a division of RJR. And Wayne, $1 million.
Well, I tell you, Steve, it's a thrill to be here tonight, to be with all these great competitors. What heck of a season we've had. Glidden with what he did to come from 5th all the way up to 2nd, give them all they had. It was great drag racing, the final round here at Pomona. It's been a great season here with Winston Drag Racing. You know, the partnership we have with NHRA has certainly grown over the years. We're proud to be a part of this sport, proud to bring something we hope to this sport that the fans will enjoy, and I tell you, very proud of these competitors here.
And I think one thing you and I can agree on, we just can't wait for next year. But for those of you who want to relive the 1990 season, NHRA Today will be bringing you full half-hour recaps of each professional category starting in just 2 weeks. Now here's the schedule, so grab a pen and write it down. You know, I didn't even get a piece of the $1 million, but it was still a great way to wrap up the year. For Dave McClelland and all of us here at NHRA Today, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next Sunday on TNN.
NHRA Today has been brought to you by Castrol GTX, engineered for today's smaller cars, and by Firestone, makers of Firehawk performance tires for the street, the track, and the strip, tires that meet the test. Promotional consideration provided for and a fee paid by this special offer from Diamond B.
I just love the holiday season when a few thousand of my closest friends and family drop by to watch me decorate the traditional Evans Christmas tree. And I can't wait till Christmas morning to see the light in their eyes and hear the lilt in their lap when they open their presents and get exactly what they all want. Diamond P Sports Video, Drag Racing 1990. Don Prudhomme finds frustration and occasionally fear. 5 drivers in 4 makes stage the closest pro stock battle in history. Gary Ormsby opens the decade of the 90s with a 480. John Force fights at McCullough and fire, fire, fire. Drag Racing 90, a year of passion, pressure, and performance. To get your copy, call 1-800-767-2600 or send $24.95 plus $3.50 shipping and handling to the address on your screen. Visa and MasterCard accepted, no CODs. Call 1-800-767-2600 now.
NHRA Today has been a presentation of Diamond B Sports.